I realized, oh yeah, that's when I realized that my mom had the pill bottle because she has Crohn's disease, so
Yeah.
she was prescribed 300 oxy-15s a month, and so I just dip into that probably like a couple times a week. And I remember at the time I didn't really like them, which was odd. My friend, he loved them. And
From the medicine in the cabinet.
yeah, the oxys. Yeah.
Wow.
And
you didn't like it when you first
no. When I was 15, I preferred pot, and so I'd trade them. I didn't even realize the value in them at the time to other people, which was interesting. But yeah, and then she caught on, and I couldn't get them anymore. My friend was so pissed.
And when was that? Still 15?
Yeah, it was out. That was all within like a few months, and actually, so after that happened, I got suicidal because of I don't know what was happening. I threatened to commit suicide, and I ran away, and I got put in St. Mary's juvenile psychiatric unit or whatever.
When you were
it's 15. Yeah,
wow.
15. And so I was there for 8 days, and then they diagnosed me depressed generalized anxiety disorder, and they put me on Ativan, and I think something. Maybe that was the only thing. I mean, at the time, maybe I needed it, but I hate that they put me on benzos. Really unfortunate.
So I've heard that word a lot recently, benzos.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's becoming a thing.
It's honestly, it's harder than this. It doesn't seem to kill as many people like where you see it, but it destroys lives, and it's nice to see that like people are becoming more aware of it. From what I've seen online and stuff, like it's really slow, it's really gradual, but like 2020 FDA now they recognize that protracted benzodiazepine injury is a real thing, which is nice because it can last for years for people, which is absolutely nuts. I didn't even realize that.
So it kind of started when you were 15 then. It started when you were 15.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's when I took my first pain pill, so yeah. And then the accident at 18. Yeah.
And what was that accident? It was a four-wheeler accident?
Yeah, because when the pot wasn't enough and I couldn't get the pain pills from my mom and there wasn't enough around for me to buy or they'd be too expensive, I'd just drink. And so I was riding a four-wheeler and, well, drinking and driving is not really good. So I flipped that thing and it landed on me. So I got a free helicopter ride, and
wow.
And so I was in this hospital in New Hampshire for like a week and a little over a week, chest tubes and stuff, and they just pumped me full of fentanyl every 2 hours. And then, so they sent me home with a bunch of oxys, and then I refilled them once, and then they were like, you gotta take less, and I was like, I don't want to take less. This is painful, and I don't want to take less. And yeah, so eventually they just keep cutting them down. I was like, I can't do this, so I started drinking again, and then that's when I ended up with people at my house because I would sell some of the pills because I'd smoke pot or whatever, and I just want to be able to get other stuff too. And so those people that would buy them, some of them were heroin addicts, and so when they would show up to my house, that's when I would get introduced to that.
So that was at 18?
I think that was right when I turned
19?
Yeah, it was like that summer.
Right there.
Yeah.
And then from there, you are 28, right?
Yeah, I'm 28 right now.
Okay, so we're about the same age. So
cool.
Yeah. So your life from that point to now, what transpired in those years?
Well, so yeah, I guess I got a girlfriend, and while I was using, and on all the drugs, the heroin and everything, and she got herself knocked out, actually. Yeah, because that was interesting. But yeah, so we had a daughter, and dropped out of school. I did get my GED, and I just kept getting clean, trying to. When I found out that she was pregnant, that's when I made my first real attempt to get clean. That was my first time getting on Suboxone, but I couldn't stand not getting high at the time, and I guess I think just all the mental health issues that I was having weren't being taken care of properly. Looking back at it, I'd go see the psychiatrist and they'd be like, okay, try this prescription, and try this prescription, and try that prescription. So yeah.
Did you ever get afraid of the idea of death?
No, it excited me because I was so miserable. I would purposefully, actually, it's funny you ask that. I would always look up how much can I do until I die? Like, what would make me die? And I'd get to that point because I didn't want to feel anything. It was terrible. I was in a really bad spot, yeah. So I'd do that on a daily basis with whatever I had until I found the connections to be able to get heroin, and then it turned into fentanyl nowadays. So
fentanyl, it seems to be the leading cause of death for people our age.
Yeah,
in Maine.
It's interesting. When I first got on it when I was 19, the heroin, and then got clean, and then relapsed, and then it was fentanyl,
yeah.
And so that was a whole different beast.
Is it addictive?
Oh yeah,
I know it is, but
yeah, I mean, like.
Is it worse than heroin?
Yeah, I couldn't even get out of bed. Like, just sweating, shaking, it's terrifying. Honestly, like, the muscle spasms, it's so painful. I'd just be crying. So depressed. But, yeah. I guess, I remember, so, last time I relapsed, because I messed up a couple months ago, and it seems like the stuff gets stronger now, almost every few months.
So you, to clarify, when you started to use fentanyl,
Yeah.
You almost hoped you wouldn't survive.
Yeah, I wanted to die for a while. I was like upset that I couldn't, because I was like, I have a kid, so I can't. I was like, I'm not allowed to. Like,
Are you thankful for that?
Yeah, honestly, now I am. Yeah, I'm glad I got through that part of my life.
When you got extremely close to overdose, I know Narcan was never used on you.
Oh, it was.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, they gave me 3 doses of it, and I barely came out of it. I was lucky. Yeah, I was very lucky.
During that time, when you went into that state versus what was your first memory when you came out of it?
I woke up and I saw the people all around me. I was sitting in my car and I could feel my heart beating, and like everything was like tense. And, like, I felt like I was like twitching but not moving. It's weird. My mind was just racing, and I was like, and then immediately I was like, where's my dope? And somebody had stole it while I was like dead for a minute. Fuck, sorry for swearing. But yeah, and then I was like, the people that were around, I was like, where can I get more? And automatically, like, cause I mean, after the 3 doses of Narcan, I wasn't thinking about almost dying. I was just thinking about how I felt. And yeah, so I went and I fixed myself, and then I was able to think. And like I said, after a couple days, I just realized, I was like, that was not okay. This is not an okay, and I'd rather live.
So that was it.
That really was it. Yeah. That
It
was
took
it.
almost dying.
Unfortunately, yeah. But I was out in Waterville, and yeah, so I got with this girl. I was like, hey, can you find me something? Did it, and then I was out. And then I woke up, 7 people around me, and they were like, you were just blue, not breathing, like nothing. And I was like, I felt like, my heart was beating kind of fast, and I was like anxious, but they were like, they thought I was going to be withdrawing and stuff, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was just surreal, honestly.
It was just like you snapped, or like you.
I was gone.
Out?
Yeah, I was just gone. I was gone, and then I was back, and it's such a surreal thing to happen. And at the time, all I could think was, I need to get high now because I'm not comfortable. But then after a couple days, I realized, I was like, I just almost died. And I would have left my daughter behind, and I would have left my son behind. And I thought that I never would do that to them, but because I always tell myself, oh, you'll be careful, you won't do it, but you can't really control that. And I realized that, and that was really scary. But I'm almost grateful that it happened to me in a way. I don't want people to have to go through that, but it's almost like you have to hit bottom, and bottom's different for everybody, I guess.
I think about the reasons why you're able to sit here today and tell your story, and I think something that you keep coming back to is your daughter. Are there other factors that helped you check into Everest?
So I realized that, holding on for her is great, but I need to work on my own happiness too. Like, if I don't like myself, or if I'm not happy with what I'm doing, I won't be able to be happy in the future. I need to try. And just sitting and being depressed, I don't know, I guess I got sick of it. And so I used YouTube, and I was like, okay, well, I'll find doctors on there and just motivational speakers, TED Talks, and it helped. And eventually just found the motivation to realize that, okay, I need to try. Like, if I don't try, it's not going to work. And I don't know, it's been great trying. Yeah.
When I think about going back to the statistics, let's just look at the statistics. The data is showing that people under 40 are seeing high death rates from overdoses.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So do you feel like your case is unique, or do you feel like you are just one of so many of your friends that is going through the same thing?
I don't think I'm unique. No, I think that this is happening to so many people. It's insane. I can think of so many people. One of my old dealers, he woke up, his girlfriend overdosed in bed with him, so he woke up with her dead in his bed, and then he jumped in front of a train that night. And it's like, it destroys everything. And then I remember I was texting my buddy one time. He overdosed while I was texting him. Found out the next day, died within 5 minutes of texting me. It's like, this stuff is just, yeah, I don't know.
I was told, it's stronger. What's out there is stronger than maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so people who are even considering trying any of it, you almost have a death note from the start, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, like, if you have no tolerance and you were to go down Portland or wherever and grab some of that stuff off the street, in an instant. I know, like, the counterfeit pills, those 30s now, they're all laced. Like, you used to be able to find real ones, and now I actually heard that this girl was talking to me the other day, and she thought she was taking real oxys, and I was like, no, I had a test strip, and I was like, this is fentanyl. You're addicted.
You have test strips to figure it out.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, because I would. There was a while ago when I actually would be able to find real heroin, and so I'd test it.
But then you start to actually crave the fentanyl, right?
Once there's no heroin, what else are you gonna do? You're already addicted to opiates, and so it's either go through withdrawal and deal with all your demons, or keep using. And usually it's easier to keep using.
And deal with the demons.
Yeah. Although I mean, there comes a time for everything.
Yeah. You've experienced lost loved ones. You just talked about your friends overdosing from this.
Yeah.
How do you even start to deal with that? What was that process in healing?
I guess you can't really ruminate on it. I realized I keep thinking about this over and over, and like, my girlfriend at the time, she overdosed a couple times. They wouldn't let me back in my house because they thought it was going to be a crime scene because they didn't know if she was going to make it. And it's just like...
Did you ever find her? From an overdose?
Yeah, no, I brought her to the hospital once, and I was there with her all night crying, just like holding her, just hoping that she was going to make it. And you know, I thought that it's interesting because I thought we had a special relationship, but I feel like the drugs just kind of gave us a connection. And now, like, she's down in Florida, clean, and she's a completely different person. And I had to come to terms with that because I couldn't let it go for a while. Yeah, it's hard. It is really hard.
Anthony, what's the hardest part of recovery?
Moving on and dealing with, like, the uncomfortability in the moment. I guess if you can get just a little bit more comfortable with being uncomfortable, then you're all the more better for it, I guess. Like, that's what I had to learn.
Did you ever think you would recover? Did you think you would get to this point where you could sit in front of a news camera right now?
No, no, 100% not. No, I'm so grateful, honestly. I really hope that this helps someone watching. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
If someone's going through something you went through, what would you like them to know today?
That it seems impossible, but it's not. I mean, you might fail 10, 20 times, but if you just keep trying, it can work out.
It can work out. And when we talk about maybe the state's effort to try to fight the opioid crisis, I also hear that if you take one away, like, let's say it's fentanyl, there's going to be something else.
That's why they're putting the xylazine in it now. Mm-hmm. It's crazy because that's not responsive to the Narcan, and it's really interesting that they're doing that. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, I think they just want people to die. Like, I'm like, why would who's putting xylazine in fentanyl now? Like, I don't get it. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. But I don't know.
In the recovery journey that you've you've been on so far. Was there any piece of advice that you were given that you maybe hold on to in times where you're really feeling low?
Yeah, my grandpa, he told me, like, when I was a kid, he's like, if you just keep trying, or just keep working, things will work out, Keith. Yeah, just keep trying, things will work out. Just gotta keep working at it. And he's always been right with that one. Like, I don't know, things have always, as long as I try, things tend to go pretty well.
And did you say you have custody of your daughter, or how is that?
Yeah, no, dealing with court stuff for my son. Yeah, addiction will mess all that stuff up. So.
And are your parents still alive? Or
Yeah,
sure?
yeah. So my mother, she's a recovering alcoholic, and like I told you, she was on the oxys because she has the Crohn's, but they took those away and because of cracking down on the pills.
Yeah.
And so now she's on Suboxone, but yeah, she was going through a hard time and trying to support me when I wasn't doing well. So now she's up in Waterville. She has a little apartment there, like the assistant, where they help fund it.
Well, I just think about your daughter, and so you have to be in the picture in
Yeah.
order for her.
Yeah, and my father. Yeah, I live with my father right now, on Westport Island. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I think you get to be there to raise her.
Yeah, I'm really lucky, honestly. I feel like I'm luckier than most. Like, there's a lot of people that are just homeless and they have kids and they're just out there somewhere, or they have no idea where they are or something, and it's tragic.
Do you think this could happen to anyone?
Of course, yeah, 100%. It happens to people every day. I mean, I'm sure it happens to people that don't think it would ever happen to them. Yeah.
So you're working now here at Everest to wean out to
down,
zero in and start.
Yeah, I was at 120 milligrams like 8 or 9 months ago, and I'm at 4 today.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's been hard. It's been pretty hard, but I feel good today.
In this general conversation, you've given me a lot of powerful content to bring to people.
I'm glad.
Thank you. Thank you for sitting here and telling your story.
Yeah, thank you for
It's
having
not
me.
easy to tell. Is there anything else you would like to say?
No, actually, I'm happy with how this went. I'm glad that I was able to do it.
Yeah, thank you.